Hi everyone, my name is Bernard Doyle, JBWere NZ Zealand Investment Strategist. A quick update on three issues that we're watching this week. One, President Trump as always. Two, Europe. And three, New Zealand with the budget. So we remain positive around how we're seeing things around the world, but obviously in the last week or so the issue around President Trump and the potential for his impeachment has got some airtime. And we could never say that that can't happen. It's it's always a risk with this president. However, us and our research partners would emphasise that the hurdle for impeachment is very high. It's never been done before, and with a Republican-held House and Senate, we think it remains unlikely unless there is something very serious uncovered in terms of President Trump's behaviour. Impeachment requires half of the House and 2/3 of the Senate to agree that this president has done something so wrong that he can no longer command office. And so against the backdrop of Republican control of both, and against the backdrop of midterm elections not that far away in November 2018, we think it's unlikely, as I say, unless we see something quite serious. Interestingly, the market, after a hiccup on last week, on the first rumours surfacing that maybe something was up, has settled down reasonably quickly. But also interesting when we look at the US market in particular, and some of the sectors that benefited from the victory of Trump have given up most of their post-election gains, and that includes areas like US banks, where they rallied on hope of tax cuts and deregulation. A lot of those gains have gone now, so we think the hurdle's pretty low for the market to be maybe pleasantly surprised that impeachment isn't going to happen, and heaven forbid, Trump might actually get some things done that are positive for markets, versus late last year when arguably the market was too optimistic about the prospects for the Republicans getting things done quickly. So that's really the first issue, and obviously we will keep a close eye on that. Second thing, just an update on Europe, and in particular Italy. So S&P this month has upgraded 14 banks in Europe on their credit rating, which is positive to see. We are hearing some news that maybe a bailout is forthcoming for MPS, one of the most troubled banks in Italy, and that is something that we would regard as positive. So we added to Europe in our offshore portfolios a week or so ago, and we're seeing good signs there of progress in the economy, but would still really like to see the banking system settling down, and maybe what we're seeing in Italy at the moment is further good evidence here. So an MPS capital raising would be a very good sign from our perspective. And then the third thing to watch this week is the budget. New Zealand budget's out on Thursday. As always, most of the exciting stuff has been telegraphed in advance. The government may leave some lollies on the table in an election year, and by way of tax cuts. For us, budget's always important. The key issues for New Zealand are probably sitting outside the budget. The key issues for New Zealand and the New Zealand economy is managing growth, and so really that means we need to see a better balance in terms of how population growth is to the extent you can managed, and flowing from that. Infrastructure spending is probably the most important area that the government has direct involvement in. So any progress in terms of the balance between population growth, infrastructure spending ultimately should be good for the balance of New Zealand growth broadly. When we look at our market here, we're still looking at New Zealand equities and saying we're not a cheap market. We probably have the best growth behind us, and we do have an election ahead of us in September, which will be hotly contested. So we're still suggesting that clients hold a little less than normal of exposure to this market. Well, that's my quick wrap up. Obviously, we'll come back to you with any developments here or anything else we're keeping an eye on. As always, please make contact with your JBWere advisor if you have any further questions that you would like to delve into. Thanks.